Well, here we are on the Extra Crispy channel. A lot of the videos you're going to see on here are a bunch of just silly crap. Just weird stuff I come up with and wrestling content and stuff. But this right here is going to be a serious video. I don't want anybody to think it's a joke or anything like that. Here today to talk about Chris. Or as we call him, Snake Boy, because he's obsessed with snakes. I'm probably going to ramble on in this video, trying to remember everything as best as I can without having to, like, all the hundreds of screenshots right in front of me. I don't know where to get this. I guess we'll get started at the beginning. I was first made aware of this person. One of our wrestlers, 5 Count Frank, he would make, like, wrestling posts and put them in, like, the Seymour pages. Just promoting our shows that, like, we were having shows at Racing Mason. And then this guy, Chris, he would get on there and say, "Oh, you're not real wrestling. You're amateur wrestling." First of all, idiot, there's a difference between professional wrestling and amateur wrestling. Professional wrestling is what you see on TV. You know, you got the ring, you got the ropes, people in there wrestling, there's stories, they're going for championships. That's professional wrestling. That's the same stuff that we do down in Madison. It's not, like, as huge of a scale, obviously, but it's still professional wrestling. Amateur wrestling is when you wrestle, and that's high school and, like, college wrestling, where you got a mat, you got 2 guys, a referee. It's very technical. There's a difference between professional and amateur wrestling. Anyway, this idiot went on, and instead of trying to say that we weren't as good as WWE, anyway, none of that matters. That's how I first became aware of him. And then this idiot, I don't want to call him an idiot, but let's just say we have professional differences. Andy Shades. He's a manager in Supreme Wrestling, and he made some videos kind of just poking fun at this guy. And he got so upset, he had his mommy call the guy that runs our wrestling promotion complaining. Like, he had his mommy call. Like, come on. The guy's... If he's not, he's somewhere around my age, somewhere, I don't know, maybe older, maybe younger, I don't know. But anyway, he had his mommy call. So that's how I got even knowing of this guy. Okay, and then, anyway, some time goes by, and then Andy Shade starts his crap with making fun of me, and I knock him out, as you can find the video on here, but that's not important. That's how this got started. Anyway, I get a friend request from this guy named Chris. So I usually accept everybody on there because I use it to promote wrestling and they might be a fan even if I don't know the person. So I accepted it and immediately got 2 or 3 messages from different wrestlers saying, "You don't want to accept from this guy. He's full of crap and talks about wrestling." And then I got one from our ring announcer. Now, she's 14 years old, saying that he had contacted her on Facebook and following her, or not Facebook, sorry, TikTok, and following her on there, and it just was real creepy. He didn't send any inappropriate, I want to make it clear, he didn't send any inappropriate messages to her. So, I was told by some to delete him, but then some told me to, like, see if you can get him to come out to a show, you know, just trying to promote. So, that's what I tried to do, and I tried to be civil to this guy. Like I said, he hadn't sent any inappropriate messages. And he was kind of on my side with the Shades thing, so it's like, well, I guess I'll just keep talking to him. So anyway, some time goes by, and then I had warned him about, like, potentially, I told her that the ring announcer was 14, you shouldn't be contacting her. You know, I mean, us that work there with her, it's fine. I mean, all her parents know us all. We're, you know, everything's completely professional there, but anybody outside, you got to watch out for people because you never know with people. Anyway, and this guy just starts getting more paranoid as his, like, mini online feud with Shades goes on. He starts sharing court records, Andy Shades with his real name, because, you know, some people in wrestling, they use names in wrestling. Like, I use my real name. Some wrestlers create a name, some managers create a name or get a nickname or something. Anyway, he put his real name and his information from a different state about, like, I'm not going to put his stuff on here, but It wasn't anything like pedophile-ish. It was just, court personal information, which is obviously stepping way over a line. And then, so I was talking to Chris on there about, why are you doing this type of stuff? And you shouldn't be contacting 14-year-olds. And he just went off. And then all of a sudden, the ring announcer did start getting some inappropriate messages from some other people. And one of them is on my friends list. So I put on there, I can't remember the exact thing I put, but like, you know who you are. You shouldn't be contacting 14-year-olds sending these type of messages. And not even 5 minutes go by, and Chris makes this giant rant talking about false accusations. I didn't do anything. Like, nobody even said you did anything. You implicated yourself in this. And that started a huge thing on Facebook where just everybody was going at it. All because he implicated himself. I mean, and we're all going like, well, if you're going to implicate yourself like this, then something's going on. He even went so far as to go to the police station in the town he lives in to see if he has charges filed against him. Something obviously is going on in this person's life to make them that paranoid. So anyway, all this stuff goes down. I think that's the first time that I got blocked. Somehow he unblocked and then started talking. He's always posting on there about his guns, and I don't have a problem with guns or anything, but there are certain people that you can tell just should not own guns. Fucking head people. Excuse my language. There's going to be language on this video. I can't help it. I'm sorry. But anyway, he's going on and on about guns and talking about school shootings. Like, why are you talking about school shootings and owning guns? That's like first sign there that you're insane. I mean, I do more research on this guy. Turns out that he ended up some kind of hit and run charge that he brags about. He beat the sheriffs, he beat the police, whatever it was, all because they forgot to give him a search warrant. Well, whatever. Anyway, then I seen that, as I mentioned, Racing Mason, that's a place we go for wrestling. We do wrestling shows there, and one of the comments, he's like, don't go to these people, they're crooked. And the owner commented on there saying, we're not crooked, you and your mom are nuts. Turns out he was chasing employees around with knives in the parking lot. Like, who does this? So anyway, more time goes by. More stuff gets said. He tries to post my court stuff, which I have a charge on it. It was thrown out, 15 years ago. It was thrown out of court. And then he puts another one on there of supposedly a speeding ticket. I've never driven a car in my life. So he's not even posting the right things. So I just do exactly what he did. Posted his stuff. And he got like super paranoid and blocked me. It's like, what are you worried about? Are you worried about something else coming out? Because there have been a lot of people saying stuff about him, because obviously contacting 14-year-olds. But I hadn't heard anything, so I wasn't going to say, oh, you're this, you're that. Anyway, more time goes by. Sorry, I say that a lot, but trying to keep the story kind of linear so people can understand it. More stuff goes on, and we go back and forth, and some of the wrestlers go back and forth with him, and it's kind of like a joke, because, I mean, we challenged him to come to a show. If it's so fake, come and see it, come and try to train, but, of course, typical Facebook keyboard warrior, running the mouth and not doing anything. I mean, nobody was even trying to fight the guy. Just saying, come and train to see how fake it is. Or in his words, amateur. Anyway, he does none of that. We get unblocked again, and he starts posting more stuff. Anyway, I got a message. I think it was about the end, near the end of one of our shows. I was sitting there at the announce desk, and I got a message. Now, in the past, she hasn't wanted me to use her name. I'm still not going to use her name. She hadn't even wanted to even reveal it was her, but through the course of this, she's become really brave, and I'll just say it. I don't even want to say it's his sister, because she does not identify with this family at all. But I guess technically by blood it is his sister. Sent me a message saying back in 1999 in Kentucky, he was actually arrested for child molesting. Now he was 9, and the victim, I don't want to, let me take that back. I don't like to use the word victim because it makes people seem lesser than. I would say survivor is more like it because you really survive these things. Nobody's a victim. That's a degrading word, I think. I understand why it's used, but anyway, she was one of the people, and her other sister, one of the people that this creep, I'm going to say it, pedophile, ever since she can remember, had been molesting her and her sister. And it's just in 1999, I don't know the exact details. I don't know if she just finally told somebody or somebody found out or whatever, but he ended up getting arrested for it. He was in jail for 2 weeks. Okay, and some of this, I'll get into that a little bit, but anyway, he ended up getting out somehow. I don't know how this happened, but he got out, and then from what she says, they were going to the court for it, and then they just stopped going. Like, it was dropped. Like, how do you drop that? Apparently, his parents fled with him or something. I don't know the exact story, so I don't want to... Because I know if I put one little small thing that isn't right on here, he's going to pick up on that and be like, oh, you told a lie about this. Now, there's a lot of stuff I don't know because I wasn't there. But I would believe somebody who is sane, who doesn't change their stories and act like a complete freaking nut. Anyway, I'll cut there. That I guess the parents chose his side over them and took off with him, and they ended up, I believe they ended up in foster care, because I don't know if the state took them away or what. I believe that's the case. Which, I mean, you choose one over the other. And from the things I was told that they would actually catch him doing this and be like, one time, I don't know which, it was the mom and dad, I don't know which did what, but one of them just smiled and walked on. Another one said, oh, he was just sleepwalking. Like, what the fuck? Sleepwalking. These parents are as sick as this piece of crap snake boy. The freaking mom in particular. They both deserve to be in jail. But I'll tell you right now, there is no conviction. He's not on a list because they fled. And I was told that these crimes happened, like I said, from whenever she can remember. They happened in Kentucky, Indiana, and Florida. And as far as I know, I don't know about the other states, but I know for a fact Indiana, there's no statute of limitations. So anytime she decides she wants to file charges, I'll be right there to help any way I can, because this goes beyond any kind of wrestling, feuds or anything. This is real life. This is disgusting. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to give away his address. I know where he lives just because I can use Google and look up tax information and find out where he lives based on his mom's name. But he lives literally 5 feet from a school. Now, like I said, he's not on a list, so there's nothing can be done about it. But he lives 5 feet from a school. And I don't just have this information from his sister. I have multiple people that have given me information about him. About him trying to get 15-year-olds to go to the park and take pictures of him. About him just being touchy-feely with people and being described as a creepy uncle type person. About him literally standing outside and watching kids get on and off the bus because he lives like right across the street. Now, I know I'm going to get a bunch of crap from this. I already got a message the other day from, I guess the guy's, I don't know if it's his stepdad or something, but he's going to kick my ass and blah, blah, blah. And I've been warned by multiple people that he has guns, and I'm not scared. Look, if they want to come after me and kill me, go ahead. If you're that stupid, obviously you're going to get caught, because who the hell is the suspect going to be? So you want to spend the rest of your life in jail just to shoot me and shut me up, that's fine. You ain't going to shut everybody else up. It's not just me. There's all kinds of people behind the scenes that have been researching things. We've talked to police. We've talked to everybody. It's just, we weren't there, so we can't file charges. Or I'd be right there to file the charges myself. thinking about filing charges for threatening because I've been threatened by Chris. I've been threatened by this, I don't know, stepdad or whatever. I haven't talked to the mom yet, but from what I heard, she tells people to mind their own business all the time. First of all, you're not a mom. You're a piece of crap, and I would not be surprised if you didn't do the same thing to him. And I'm not trying to give him an excuse, but it's classic behavior. This video is not even, I'm not about this, like I said, not some stupid feud. It's just, I finally wanted to get the truth out. Make jokes about stuff all the time on there, and calling him Snake Boy and all this other stuff. See, another part of it is, after all this stuff had happened, he had, oh, I'll fight you and blah, blah, blah. It made this like, because what I said is, we'll get on Facebook Live. I'll get on there and you can get on there with me, and we'll both have our say. Sounds fair to me. But no, he made up this ridiculous list like, we will have hand-to-hand combat. There will be no weapons. We will pay for our own medical expenses. So I've just, whatever. And then Shades, being the instigator that he is, drew up this like contract saying if he rented the building where we wrestle at, that we'll promote this as an actual match. I would face him, but he had to pay for like renting the ring and all this other stuff. I said, fine, that's fine, we'll do that. And then he gets on there and says, I never said anything about having physical violence, whatever. And then blocked everybody, and that's the last I've seen. Other than some people, which I'm not going to name, have sent me screenshots of things he's said since then, but nothing major. So I'm trying to see if I remembered everything. I said, if you want to contact me, I've got the charges against him. Again, there's no conviction because his mommy took off with him. Every time I think about her, I get more disgusted. Like, he's disgusting to begin with, but when I think about his mom, like, you're supposed to love all your kids. Not just, that makes me really think that she must have messed with him. Because either she didn't believe it, which I doubt, or she condoned it. Which to me is just as bad as doing it. They both should be rotting in prison right now. And if you ever get charged with anything, I will be right there in the courtroom. I'll testify or I'll sit there and watch, but I mean, this has become personal to me because I've had people in my life that things like this have happened to, and I couldn't do anything for them. And I don't know if I can do anything to help this. Again, I don't want to call her sister because she has nothing to do with them. She got new parents when she went to the foster home, and she loves them, and she's trying to get on with her life, and I'm not dragging her into anything. In fact, I told her I wouldn't even say anything about her in the video, but she said I could, just don't mention certain things, and I wouldn't. And he has the nerve to get on there and say that she murdered her sister. Her sister died in a car crash that she was driving the car. This woman I'm talking about, she was driving the car and her sister died in it. That's not murdering your sister. It's called a freaking car accident. But no, you messed with her so bad that she tried to take, not the one I'm talking to, but the one that passed away. I was told that you messed with her so bad that she tried to kill herself. I think with pills or something. But you want to call her sister, who loved her and had to suffer this with her, you want to call her a murderer. You're a piece of shit. And I don't care how mad this makes you, or your stupid followers, or anybody that believes you. But this is disgusting. This video is not going to get taken down. I don't care. You can sue me. I don't care. You're not going to get nothing. Even if you'd win, you ain't going to get nothing. I don't have no money. I don't have no property. Pretty much judgment, I think it's judgment free they call it. So get your little lawsuit if you want. Sue me, win. And I don't see how you're going to win though, because I'm not saying anything that isn't public information or things that were told to me. I'm not saying I know any of this stuff personally. I've been rambling on for about 20 minutes now. I don't know if I'm going to break this into multiple videos or not, but just, I want to say something before I'm done. I want to say something to anybody that's experiencing that out there, whether it's your own family or someone you know. There's so many people that are afraid to come forward because they're afraid they're not going to be believed, because there are people out there that'll make up stories. They'll try to get back at their ex, so they'll make up a story that they were raped or that their ex raped somebody else. And there's people like that, and those people are just as bad as people that actually do it, because it makes the survivors feel like they're not going to be believed. And if you feel like you're not going to be believed, and there's a chance of that, you're not going to come forward. Even if you think you're going to believe, there's sometimes you're not going to come forward because you're embarrassed. And it's a horrible cycle. And anybody out there that needs any kind of help, you can contact me. I'll try to help you or try to get you in touch with somebody. I wouldn't put any of your information out there. If there's any way to earn money off these, I've never been on TikTok before. If there's any way to earn money off these, I'm not trying to. If it does, I'll donate it to any survivors kind of things, because I don't want any recognition or any money off this. I just want this to get out there so people can see that this really affects real lives. This isn't some kind of wrestling story. I'm not trying to promote any shows coming up. I'll do that on other videos at some point, but this is just 100% serious. And been debating whether to make this video for a while, because I didn't want to come off as sounding like I'm trying to get followers or something. But if anybody does see this, you gotta reach out, because the longer it goes, the more you're gonna accept that it's normal, and you're gonna let it happen and feel like you can't get away from it. But then again, I mean, like I said, I can see why people do it, because there's so many people that'll say, "Oh, it didn't happen to you," or you're wearing this, so what did you expect? I mean, nobody should ever have to go through anything like this. Any kind of sexual abuse, physical, emotional, from anybody, whether you're a kid or you're an adult, male or female, it doesn't matter. It really hurts to see this happen to people. And I've been really vocal recently if you follow me on Facebook at all, I've been exposing people in wrestling for, again, messaging, trying to have relationships with minors. I'll get into any other thing in another video. I don't want to take away from this, but I've been exposing people for physically assaulting and stalking women to other states, trying to clean up the wrestling business as much as I can. I mean, I'm only one person, but if I can get some information out there and it gets spread, just like with this. Again, I'm not trying to do this out of any kind of being vindictive or, oh, I'm going to beat him in this Facebook war. I want her story out there. And if anybody knows this person, knows any more information, let me know. Because it's way past time for him to get justice. And I'm not talking about, I just want to make it clear right now, I'm not planning on doing any kind of violence or anything. None of that's my place. I'm not advocating anybody else doing that. I know our justice system sucks at times, obviously in this case. But I'm not advocating any kind of violence. I guess in closing, I just want to say, if, like I said, anybody needs any kind of help, reach out to me or reach out to somebody else. Find that person in your life that you trust, that you know will believe you. Because there are people like that. I mean, not everybody has a best friend or a sibling they can trust, but maybe a teacher, maybe somebody at church, somebody that you know of in the community, something. But find that person. Don't let this continue to happen to you. because, like I said, it'll just continue. And it don't just affect you in the short term. This stays with you decades, a lifetime. Don't let it happen. Thanks, guys, for listening to this. And like I said, and if you're doing this stuff, I urge you to get help, because you have no idea the way you're ruining people's lives. Like, whatever's wrong in your head. And a lot of people don't even realize there's something wrong in their head. And I'm not trying to make excuses for them. But anybody that does this in my mind is mentally ill. Doesn't mean they shouldn't be locked up. But you have to have something wrong in your head to look at somebody either that young or related to you, or just anybody that doesn't want you to do something to them. And like I said, it don't have to be sexual. It can be physical. It can be just mentally destroying somebody to the point to where they want to kill themselves. But if you're doing this to somebody, you've got to stop. You've got to stop, and you've got to get help. Because it's a cycle that can continue. You know, there's been people that this has happened to, and they continue this behavior on their children. Like I think it's in this case. Would not surprise me that his mom did it to him. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody did it to his mom. And in one sense, that makes them victims, or survivors, I should say. But at the same point, it's not condonable. I'm not trying to give them an excuse. Anyway, this has been a hard one to talk about. Like I said, I've got people that I know. I don't want to say how I know them or anything, because I'm not trying to get into anybody that I ever make a video about. I want, 100%, like cooperation or approval to share their stories, because I don't want to. It's not going to be this channel where I just, oh, look who I'm exposing now as a form of entertainment. This is not entertainment. This is 100% real life, and I really, really just, I feel for these people, and I don't want them to feel like this doesn't have to define your life. This does not have to define your life. But I know it does. It's easier said than done. You can't just say, oh, well, it happened, and I don't have to let it control me. It's a lot more than that. Some people, it's therapy. Some people need to go to church to find happiness. That's kind of what I did. I mean, I'm not trying to make this about me, and nothing like this ever happened to me. I mean, I was abused by a stepdad as a kid. I'm not trying to compare, apples to oranges here of what kind of abuse is worse, but it finally took me finding God to actually get past the pain of all that stuff, and to realize that, I need to try to be there and try to help people. That's really all I want to try to do, is help. And I'm probably repeating myself here. I'm kind of blabbering on. Looks like an almost half-hour video here. I'm definitely going to cut this thing down. But like I said, whether you're doing this or whether this has been done to you, get any kind of help you can. Like I said, whether that's therapy, going to church, talking to somebody, and nobody should ever have to go through any kind of abuse. I'll do anything I can to help anybody, but, well, like I said, this was a hard one to do. Sorry if it's rambling at times. Anybody wants any more information, like I said, this wasn't meant to be some kind of, ooh, I got you now, ha 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 type thing. It's me just speaking from the heart and trying to cause some kind of change. Maybe somebody knows somebody's going through something, and this will give them the power to say, you know what, I'm not going to let this happen anymore. So I'm not advocating violence, just get help. Thanks for watching, guys.